So look to those definitions, find out what they are, and recognize that again, by transforming those definitions, when you hit upon the definition you had, recognize it doesn't work for you, and replace it with a definition that does, you will feel the change within you instantly. You will feel the revelation. You'll feel the expansion. You will know you are a different you. And I mean that literally, not figuratively, literally. You will be a different you, because what you consider your personality to be, your persona, is in a sense nothing but a projection, a mask, a presentation of consciousness. Your personality is not literally who you are in total. So, personality is constructed of those three things we talked about: belief, emotion, and the idea of action, behavior. And as you change any one of those three, you change the person literally that you are. Again, I mean literally, not metaphorically. Literally. No matter what you think you look like in the mirror, I still look the same. You are not the same person, trust me, literally. You are not the same person. The idea of appearing to have the same face is an illusion of continuity that you use as a form of convenience to guide you in the physical reality, but it doesn't mean you're actually the same person. And if you understand you are really, when you make a change, when you make any change, if you understand you are really, 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 really not the same person, do you understand what that means? I'll tell you. It means that if you really, in the next moment, are not the same person that was there a moment ago, the you are now doesn't have the same history. You have no more connection to anything that was connected to the person that was there a moment ago you used to think you were. You are literally, at that moment, zero, free to be whatever you define, all the way up and down the timeline, because past and future come from the present. What you define in the present is what you are on all levels of experience. You change everything. Look at it this way, by analogy. Imagine in your mind, if you will, right now, in what you call your imagination, a blue cube. It has 6 blue sides. Now change one side and one side only to red. There are now 2 ways to look at this. You can say, as is representative of the way that people on your planet have typically thought, well, there's that blue cube, but one of its sides has changed to red, but it's the same cube with one red side. Or you can say, wait a minute. A cube with one red side and 5 blue ones is fundamentally a completely different concept than a totally blue cube. Therefore, that means it is a completely different cube. It's not the same cube. It has no connection to the blue cube. It has no history. Nothing that impacts the blue cube impacts the cube with one red side, unless, there's that clause again, unless the cube with one red side says it should be impacted by the belief system structure of the blue cube. But that's the cube's choice. Why do you choose to be impacted by things you say you don't prefer? Motivation, definition, motivation. They are powerful allies. Definition, motivation. Click, reality. If you choose something that you say ostensibly you don't prefer to choose, if you have this so-called habitual behavior, the idea is to look to your motivation. because you are never without motivation. Never for a second, ever, 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 never without motivation. You are always motivated to choose some definition, some belief system. You don't need to be motivated. You need to understand where your motivation is being placed. That's the key. So if you find that you seem to be reluctant to do something that on one level you say, well, that's what I would really prefer to do, why do I keep choosing to do this instead? It means you must, by some definition you have in your mind about this thing, be motivated to choose this instead. That means you might have a negative belief system about what it might take in order for you to really live your joy. And so, because you might think it is a struggle, too much pain to make a change, or I might fail if I want to move into my joy, and that's too much to bear, you won't even give it a shot. You will say, oh, I'm much happier just playing it safe, and so you are motivated to keep doing what you've always done, no matter how painful it might be. You are motivated because you have a belief that the change would be greater pain. So get in touch with those beliefs, with those definitions. Find out what they are, because that's all that is stopping you from doing anything and everything you desire to do. That is all. Your definitions are what seems so solid. They weigh nothing. But when you believe in them, they are made of steel. That's the nature of a belief. A belief has to be self-perpetuating, self-reinforcing, and has to, by its very definition, with few exceptions, exclude the possibility of any other belief in order for you to experience that belief totally. But with the foundational addition of the underlying belief that all beliefs are just beliefs, that all reality experiences are just the product of definition, then you can experience whatever belief you want as fully as you can, and the next moment change it like that, because you know that's all they are. That's the key. Be flexible. Have the underlying foundational definition that there is no reality except what you define it to be, and then you can experience any reality to its fullest, and in the next moment experience a totally different reality, because you will really know for a fact that you are in the next moment a completely different you, and that means a completely different universe. Totally, completely, absolutely. Every change, no matter how you may define it to seem small, every change is a total change. If you have an equation, A plus B equals C. If you change any one of those variables, does not the entire equation change? Of course it does. Change any component whatsoever, the entire equation is different. The entire reality is different. I will give you, for now, one more important definition. Fear. Fear, 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 fear. Been your friend for a long time. If you were to treat it like a friend, you would get more out of it. Fear. Pay attention. Fear is your natural, true vibration, filtered through a belief system that is out of tune with your true core self.